Sweden is, in theory, a very great place to get a job. It's got one of the lowest unemployment rates in the whole of the EU. But when you look at foreign-born citizens, that rate doubles. Our next speaker, though, is trying to do something about that. She has founded a startup that is helping people who want to get into work from foreign backgrounds by providing training, mentorship, introductions, and also to try and show Swedish businesses what the benefits are of diversity along the way. She's been so successful so far that she's already been listed as a next generation leader by Time magazine. Okay, so those of you leaving, you're missing out, but there is other cool stuff going on, I know. But please welcome to the stage the founder and CEO of Mitt, Sofia Appelgren.
You prepared very well for me. I got nervous when I heard you. So I have no slides. I'm going to talk some about Sweden and our society and what we face ahead, actually. I founded an organization in 2008, which is called Mitt, which means my life in English. So how are you? How are you? Are you good? Yeah? I'm actually kind of up and down today because I leave a very tough week behind. And that is kind of, well, the reality in running a business and running something where you have great ambitions and where you have a clear vision and strong values and in a hurry because we live in the society that looks like it looks right now. So how many in here runs a business today? So it's quite many. So you know what I talk about when we talk about challenges. And nothing that develops is ever simple, right? You know? So, well, but I'm here. I'm very happy. I feel home. It feels like the whole world is represented here. And that is also my home arena. That is what I thrive for. I thrive for a society, an inclusive society, and a labor market who values diversity. And when I founded Mitt 2008, it came from the very, very bottom of my heart. Because I was fed up on a society where we judge other people based on where they come from, how they look, not based on who they are. So that is the very first drive within my organization. I want everyone to have the chance to tell their own story without anyone else putting any labels. So Mittliv's vision is strong for me. And we have built an organization with a core program, mentor program. Today, it takes approximately 7 to 9 years from the time you come to Sweden till the time you get a job in our country. 7 to 9 years. That's pretty tough. And still, we have a labor market that is actually looking for competences, but don't find them. So we work hard to overcome and build this bridge between companies and people who's looking for jobs. And then to finance this, because there are a lot of projects going on at this field right now. A lot of projects is great, but are dependent on the government funding. So one of our biggest challenges here has been to create something long-term, sustainable, using the business mechanisms to create a business where you grow by yourself, by creating values for all parties. So we haven't had a single Swedish crown in 9 years, actually, from any government funding. So have you heard the story about little Ruby? Anyone? This is a story that is very, very important for me. Because when I was little, my mom wanted to be a priest. I haven't chosen to be the religious path, but she put me into a very Christian kindergarten with strong, strong, strong values. And this little story started in New Orleans in the 60s. And a school for, an organization for school integration decided to integrate African American children into different schools within New Orleans. And there was mass demonstrations against this. And they decided to find a strong little person who wanted to be integrated within the school, William France. And they found little Ruby. And the day Ruby was going to school, her first day, she was facing mass protests, and people were screaming ugly words. And when she was walking into the school with 4 guards around her, large men guards around her, she was praying. And someone asked Ruby, "Why are you praying?" And she answers, "I'm not praying for me, I'm praying for the people here and wish they knew better." And this is what we're facing in Sweden right now. We need the knowledge. We need to be aware of who we are and how we look on each other and how we judge people around us. More than ever. Because we have a party in Sweden that the other day actually was becoming statistically the second biggest in our country, based on very bad values, actually. So to understand the world, we need to understand our own mechanisms. And we know that we are programmed to prefer people that share the same values, share the same interests as ourselves. And those preferences are unconscious, and they pass every rational thinking. So we also know that most human decisions are actually taken emotionally. And we are programmed to take decisions on other people based on what feels safe, what feels competent, valuable, and sympathetic. So bias against equal drives decisions to greater extent than actual merits, which is very, very interesting. So how many in here do have biases, prejudices? Really? One more time. How many have prejudices? Wow, there are a few who doesn't, really? Because we're born with this mechanism. We all have prejudices. And the most dangerous things of all is to think that we don't have, actually. So we have a journey to do. And I would like you to take a minute to share with your friend beside you one prejudice that you can become aware of. So take a minute. So, all right. Yeah. Is the mic on? Yeah, all right. Did you find any? Is anyone brave enough to share? No? Anyone? It would be lovely to hear what you talked about. I heard everyone was speaking, so maybe I point someone out. No? Oh yeah, lovely. Please. Thank you so much. That's brave. We all have prejudices, and I mean, we need to understand the world. We need to start with understanding ourselves, right? And we need to understand how our mental mechanisms uh, is actually impacting our behaviors towards other people. But there are around, regarding to resources, 150 unconscious biases. We all have them. And in a recent Google research, they said that 99.99996% of our daily decisions are unconscious. So it's a very small part of the day that we actually take aware decisions. That's something to think of if you want to change patterns and create new ways of learnings. And we also know that we make 11 decisions in 7 seconds the first time we meet a new person, based on our own preferences. And those also have a great impact on our behavior towards this person. I'm very interested in this because if we're going to create an open, inclusive environment, we need to step out of our own comfort zones, right? And make sure that our own preference frames grows and becomes larger so we can include more people within our in-groups. And there is a complex world actually emerging. And among all the challenges that the world is facing right now, one is that people are moving increasingly in the world. And religions and cultures and different preferences are coming together in whole new contexts. And I really, really wonder, how on earth are we going to live together, peaceful together, and at the same time use all those amazing competences that we have in this room, for example, and become enriched by the differences that we all have. It's not someone else's responsibility. It's my own. It's my own biases that will guide me if I'm going to be an open person or not. And there was also a recent study that we looked into that was looking on what future skills leaders need to have to face this complex, fast-moving world around us. And you know that 45% of those skills demanded was connected to cultural sensitivity, diversity, and inclusion in different ways. So everyone in here who wants to become a leader in the future will need to be more aware of your own prejudices and through become more aware about the world around you. So we all have a responsibility for the world we are creating. And I remember a great quote from the unknown guy, Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs, he said once that once you realize that everything around you is created by people who are not smarter than you or me, the whole world view for you will change. And I really, really deeply believe that. And that is the key for saving me in hard situations, actually. That it is not about being smart. It's about having a great vision, having your core values, believing every morning when you wake up in what you do, so you have the strength to actually walk that extra mile that you need to do when you build something. And with this quote and with this message that we all have biases and we need to be aware of those to become the future leaders, I will thank you so very, very much for your attention. And if you're curious about the organization that I'm building right now, you can visit mittliv.com and you'll find out more. So thank you for your attention and good luck with your biases. Bye.